We are back. You know, we've talked about the struggles of St. Louis with trying to get the MLS to town, trying to get improvements for the Scott Trade Center. But last night at the car show, something huge happened for our town, something very significant. The announcement that the Bommarito Automotive Group is becoming a partner at Gateway Motorsports Park. It is going to be the Bommarito 500 for that tremendous Indy car race coming up in St. Louis in August. Joining us now is John Bommarito and Curtis Francois. Men, thanks for being a part of the program. How are you today?
Great, Frank. Good to be with you.
Well, John, tell us why the Bommarito Automotive Group decided to become a major sponsor for this international race.
Oh, Frank, I tell you, it's a big opportunity to really put a foothold to put St. Louis on the map once again. I'm St. Louis born and raised. Our company's a 45-year-old company. When Curtis came with us to this opportunity, we looked and said, Curtis, we're definitely in, and we definitely want this to be a St. Louis company to help support you in all your endeavors. And it's going to be a great thing for the whole community and all the St. Louis region.
John, what about economic impact for this city? Because it's not just one race, it's a week-long worth of activities.
And that was really key for us. When we look at the economic impact, when you think about the Winter Classic, okay, this will have double the impact of the Winter Classic. And then eventually, just like a World Series, in fact. So if you look at this scenario, the economic impact was a key indicator and a big, big reason why the Bommarito Automotive Group got involved.
Curtis, you bought this track, I guess, about 3 years ago. It was dead. There was nothing going on. And now this is the culmination. This is the biggest thing you've pulled off. What does this mean to your track?
Well, Frank, it certainly means a tremendous amount for the track and for St. Louis. But, I had a dream in 2012 that someday IndyCar would be coming back. And when we had the opportunity last year to step up and bring IndyCar back to St. Louis, we immediately went to work trying to identify companies that really expressed and showed the values of Gateway and what we tried to do in the community. And with interacting with John, I recognized for sure that the Bommarito Automotive Group and John Bommarito were a perfect fit for this sponsorship. They're a local company, great ambassador for the city, and we were just thrilled to be involved with them along the way and the opportunity to then bring them to the title sponsorship of the race.
Give us an idea what actually happens that week. It's kind of like a Final Four setting.
Absolutely. So we have the full week of speed. It's the speed festival leading up to the race. It starts with a 5K race at the racetrack. There's a golf tournament. There's a bicycle race. There's a concert. There's carb day. There are so many different things before the race that people will be able to interact with and just have a great week of celebrating St. Louis and the week of speed.
John, what about your love of racing? I mean, obviously, your whole life has been spent in the car world. Your father, Frank, founded the company. What about your love of auto racing?
Well, I'll tell you, growing up in the car world, Frank, it's hard not to love racing. I mean, we found out, just from all the people that we satisfy with their most important purchase of vehicle is a couple things. They love driving cars. They love going fast. And if they can't go fast, they love racing. And they love watching racing, and this is going to be an opportunity for them to see IndyCar racing up close and personal in the St. Louis marketplace. Again, it's been a long time coming. All race fans, and they're all ages, all demographics. I mean, a lot of people want to get up and close personal. They've got, the cars, the stars. People are coming from all over the country that they've always aspired to be like or see in person, and they're going to be able to do it right close to their home at an affordable price. And that's what's really cool about a relationship with Gateway. Yeah,
Curtis, that's interesting that John brought that up close and personal, because like if you go to a baseball game, it's not like a fan, can chat with, Stephen Piscotty before the game, but there's pretty good access, correct? Tell me about that.
Well, I think that's something that the sanctioning bodies realized a few years ago, and certainly IndyCar has embraced, that it's great to have a great seat to watch the race, but it's great to build an experience that you can build with your family and build a memory, and usually that comes around some sort of special access, and IndyCar allows that. There will be the opportunity to get right into the pits, right next to the cars, right next to these stars from all over the world. Those are the best racers in the world. It builds a memory, and it's just a great opportunity, and we just love that IndyCar embraces the ability to get in there and really mix it up with the racers and the cars.
What are some of the big names, or who are some of the big names that we'll see, and how fast will these cars be traveling at Gateway Motorsports Park in late August?
Well, you're going to get to see cars going over 200 miles an hour at Gateway. That's going to be a first. The way the cars are set up now, they're faster than ever, and the stars are going to be there. You're going to see the Dancing with the Stars star, James Hinchcliffe, that was just on that show, not to mention a world-class driver. You'll see a representative from the Andretti family there racing. Graham Rahal, as in Bobby Rahal's son. So many guys that are now the next generation of racers that will be out, and it's just a great young group of racers and the stars that'll be out there showing what they can do.
John, what struck me about last night, and I know you've been advertising, you've been a major force in the St. Louis area for a long time, but to actually just see that logo where it says at the top Gateway Motorsports Park, you can see the arch, and then it says Bommarito 500. That must have kind of taken you back when you looked at that for the first time.
Well, it's a great honor to be partnering with Gateway, and you dream about things, when you're a little boy, and you wonder one day, can I ever fulfill those dreams? And at the same time, can you do something and give back to your community that's been so good to you over the past 45 years? And this just turned out to be a great fit, and Curtis brought it to us, and we're really excited about it. I mean, we had to reach out to some of our corporate partners, and I want to thank them personally today. Exalta is one, as our finishing and our paint supplier. I also want to thank Valvoline. I mean, these are key relationships that help make these things happen. We can't do it with all our own Bommarito funds. I mean, these are key representation and key partners within our dealership that help make these things go on as well.
Curtis is a former race car driver. Curtis, can you get John in one of these cars and have him get his need for speed going?
Somehow or another, Frank, I feel like that's going to happen. So, if you're involved with racing and that track is just sitting there with the car warmed up, ready to go, the draw is just too much. I think we're going to see Johnny behind the wheel out Gateway Motorsports Park sooner than we think.
John, what's the fastest you've ever driven? Maybe that Audi A8 is pretty quick. I think James Bond drove it. What's the fastest you've ever driven one of your Bommarito cars?
Well, and again, it was on a closed track, so I want to make sure that the police understand and know that. But I've been up to about 168, 170 miles an hour.
That's good. Yeah.
And that's fast enough for me. That 200 mile an hour number scares the what out of me. So I don't. I let the professionals do that kind of driving.
And before we let you go, John, we just got a text here at the radio station. Steve in Wildwood texting in, signing on a 2016 Audi Q5 this afternoon at Bommarito. So our people are buying your product.
Well, Steve, thank you. I really appreciate that, and I look forward to taking care of the rest of your friends and your family in the same professional way. So, again, thanks for the business. It's much appreciated.
Good stuff, men. Congratulations on a great night for St. Louis. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All right,
Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
All
appreciate the time.
John Bommarito and Curtis Francois joining us on the Hollywood Casino Press Box.